Hello everyone, it is Wazaldo or Wesley, and today I'm going to be showing some love to one of my favorite decks of all time, OP6 Yamato. Now, Yamato is a really strong leader because it has double attack built into it, which means you can put a lot of pressure on your opponent's life very early as the second turn. The leader also has the effect of, if your opponent has 3 or less life cards, you can attach 2 Rested Dawn to one of your characters, which means you can really ramp up your aggression once you have your opponent down at 3 life, which is going to happen usually pretty early. Into the deck list, I run 2 Momonosuke Searcher. It's not the best searcher in the deck, and it really slows you down to play it, which is why I only have it at 2 of, but sometimes making the deck more consistent is really important. 4 of this 2k Izo. It's a 2k that also lets you rest 4 or less, which lets you rest the 4-cost blocker in Emu. 4 of this 2k Mihawk that lets you play out a 4 or less slash trait character card other than Mihawk from your hand rested if you have 2 or less characters, which is really going to help you get aggressive early if you don't have many characters out on the board. 3 of this Hiyori that lets you play a 5 or less Wano type character other than Hiyori from your hand, and then you can draw a card. So essentially it's a free 5 cost if you can get a 5 cost out, or it just lets you cycle your hand if you play a 4. 2 Hody Jones, a really good rush character that lets you rest your opponent's blockers typically, or Dawn cards. I only have it at 2 of because it's not the most important rush character. While it's really good, there is another one you can use that also can be used with another effect. 4 Yamato, it's a searcher, the better searcher, and it can be a 5k if you attach 2 Dawn to it. 4 Izo, that gives your leader banish on play, and also if you attach 2 Dawn to it, it can be a blocker. 4 Kikinojo, it's a really good trigger out of life because it'll play itself if your opponent's at 3 or less, and on KO, it'll heal you. 3 of this Basil, on KO, it'll trash an opponent's life. It also has a trigger that's pretty decent as well. 3 of this Hiyori, it's really consistent because you don't have to rely on anything else, unlike this Momonosuke, because you only have to trash 1 from your hand on KO. 4 of this 2k Kinemon that plays out of life, really good trigger, and it's also a 2k. 3 of this Momonosuke, it's a really good target for the Hiyori, and it also lets you heal 1 as long as you have a Wano character out in the field. Typically you want to heal your Yamatos or Izoans to life, just because they're not going to be the most impactful characters. 2 of this Denjiro. Now this Denjiro is relevant in the Emu matchup, which is why it's in here. It's also a good target for Hiyori. It's a 6k, and if you attach 2, it swings for 8. And it cannot be KO'd by your opponent's effects as long as they're below 3 or less life. So really relevant for the Izo matchup, or Emu matchup, so that's why it's in here. 3 Kuma, really good healing card, really good body, good at on KO, solid card to have in the deck. 2 of this Momonosuke Rush character, it'll give your leader plus 1k power on your turn, which is really relevant as long as you're at 2 or less life. And it also lets you, it also lets itself pump itself up to an 8, as long as you return 2 given Dawn cards, which when you play it, you'll typically be able to do. So essentially it is a 6-cost Hody that doesn't rest things, but when combined with this Dead Man's Game, it's a 10-cost Hody that gives your leader plus 1k. This is the Dead Man's Game. It lets you rest 4 Dawn total and rest up to 2 of your opponent's characters or Dawn cards. So I'm just gonna hop into a game. This is a deck highlight video, so it's not gonna be as long as my previous 2 videos, but I do wanna call out, today I have seen some incredible growth. I am very appreciative of how much my channel has increased in size. So I am incredibly humbled and thankful for everyone who's shown me support. And I want to call out one more time, if I hit 500 subscribers before the end of the year, which at this rate I 100% will, which I'm psyched about, I will show a video of me that went viral like 5 or 6 years ago. It got like 7 million views. There's even a TikTok account, or no, it's an Instagram account that posts the video daily. So that's the kind of viral we're talking about. So I'll show that, and then if I hit 1,000 by nationals, and probably even before, I might change the reward that happens if I do. I will do a full face reveal, and I'll probably switch to using my face full time instead of the kind of PNG tuber thing I have going on. Anyways, sorry about that little blurb. I'm gonna get into the gameplay now. All right, this is going to be an interesting matchup. I know Ace wants to take first or second, so I might take second just to screw him up. See what I get. Okay. Pretty decent stuff, but I see a lot of bricks, and I don't think I'm going to want those. But I have an Izo, so I think I'm going to hang on to that. Hopefully I get a good first turn draw. I do wonder how important it's going to be to screw up the Ace's curve. They don't get anything this turn. I don't see anything great, but I do see a Kuma, which is going to be nice on curve, just because it'll let me heal up a bit. I do think I need to play super aggressive into my opponent, though. So I'll probably just swing 8 at life this next turn. And then the turn after, maybe I'll drop an Izo and swing another 8. Or 9 at life, but it'll be more like 8 just because my opponent's a +1. I just take this, maybe I'll get a trigger. No trigger, unfortunately. Ooh, seeing these searchers now when I don't need them, which is a little rough. I'm going to grab the Kiku, because it's already online, and I'll be able to play it next turn and still swing pretty big. Maybe I should have grabbed the Hiyori. I think I saw a Hiyori there, so I could play the Denjiro, but I don't think that's important. My opponent does have a huge hand here. I might get puddinged here. I don't know if I would hate getting puddinged, but my opponent has to play really safe. If they don't play a blocker this turn, I just swing everything at them. They don't play a blocker, which is gonna screw them over hand size wise, because I'm just gonna swing everything. I'll take this. Again, no, nothing great here, but I just swing big at life. Force them to use a ton of their cards in hand, so that in the future, when I do decide, and they don't use their effect, which is wild. Interesting, they're running the Newgate 2K. When I do end up swinging next turn, they have less cards in hand. Man, they're playing really aggressive. This is interesting. Probably get a 7 and an 8 swung at me. I do counter out of the 7, I think. Trash this, and this is the only 2K I have. I'll trash that too. Then I just take the next hit unless it's another 7. But I don't have another 2K, so I'm just gonna take it. I'll use the trigger here. Maybe I can draw into something good. I don't need 2 Momonosuke's. Alright, I go to 8, so I can swing 8 at my opponent and then bounce the Yamato into life and get a blocker. Maybe I should have swung 7, but if they use their leader effect this turn, they don't really get the benefit of knocking me down too. They still have to use another card. Yeah. So I'll play this, bounce this into life, and end turn. I don't think they should be able to take me out, but we'll see. I am Whitebeard, get the blocker, which is rough, but I do have a Dead Man's Game. Okay, interesting. I'm not quite sure what I should do here. Maybe I just Dead Man's Game and try and end the game. Take that. Take this one too. Interesting. I could possibly just drop 2 Hioris and play really safe here, but that doesn't really do anything for me long term. It just lets my opponent draw more. But I do get to wait off that +2 effect, so I'm gonna do that. And then, I mean, I may as well drop this. Try and search some more 2Ks, just so I can survive longer. Because I have bricks I can just drop. Yeah, let's search a bunch of 2Ks. And I'll end turn. So I can heal up. I have essentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ways of blocking damage this turn, and I have a ton of things to trash in hand. I know they do have a Jozu, so they can bounce something back, but that does limit the amount of Dom they have as well. This puts my opponent in a really awkward place. Okay, honestly, I might just counter here and block 2, counter 1, probably. Block, trash this, gain a life. I'm gonna block, trash another Kiku and gain a life. Really just trying to mess with my opponent's ability to go for game. Alright, I'll take this, see what I get. Ooh, nice. I get a 6K. So that's another body I can just swing with. So I Dead Man's Game, rest these 2. Leader effect, give 2 down here. And just swing a 6 at life. Try and get some cards on my opponent hand. I'm hoping they have like 5 bricks and then 5 counter cards. I know this deck can brick really hard. Go another 6. I have to end game here, so I'm just going to swing out. Interesting. I'm going to assume they only have 2Ks left, but maybe they don't just because they used a card with counter to use their leader effect. See if I can end. This is just GG no matter what. I'm not going to pre-fire it, but I'll preload it into the chat. My opponent needs 5K counter to get out of this, which, knowing Ace, they probably have it, but we'll see. 2K, 2K, 2K. That's the game. They have chat muted, so I can't do it. I'll concede. Oh man, they had it perfect. I'm gonna play one more just because I love playing this deck so much. I also totally forgot to switch to the small PNG, so I'm sorry if you couldn't read cards there. Alright, we're playing into an Emu. I picked this one out. I just want to see how this matchup goes. I know Emu loses into aggro, so hopefully this goes well. The last game, honestly, I'd say went really well. I just got a bit unlucky with my opponent drawing into such good cards. I see a Mihawk. I'm going to keep this because I can Mihawk into Kiku, which is going to be really good for me. I just have to get my opponent down to 3 early, which might be hard, so we'll see. Start with a 5 at life. I'm drawing into a lot of bricks here, which is a little scary. I want to fish out a 1K early, just so when I swing next turn... Ooh, okay, interesting. So my Kikunojo is going to be online right away, so that's going to be amazing. Just because if they KO it, I get the life, and I just play really aggressively from there. I don't have a ton of aggressive bodies in my hand, so we'll see how this goes. I'm going to want to swing 6s just to get the 2Ks out of my opponent's hands, just so I can, later in the game, go for these last 2 life, maybe with something like Banish. I hope that makes sense. I'll be able to attach to Mihawk and do stuff like that. I might even drop this Kinemon just to get rested on and another body out on board to play really aggressively. I want to protect this Kikinojo this turn. They trash a 2K, which is really interesting. It makes me think they have a lot of cards in hand with counter. They don't have a blocker up yet, though. Like online, if that makes sense. They draw a 5 Elder, so I am on a clock to end the game here. I just counter this. No, I don't counter this. Love me some cards in hand. So I'm going to drop the Kinemon. I drew into more counter, which is nice. Give 2 there. Swing 6s. Get some cards for my opponent. They're going to have 2 swings at my board next turn. And I have 2 2K counters. And I'm going to want to use the Izo to go for their last 2 life. Interesting. Okay. They go down to 1. So that does screw me over a little bit with banishing the life. But I can just, again, go wide and try and end now. If they play a blocker this turn, which they could just get online with it, yeah, I can just Izo the blocker and go for game. Alright, they're probably going to KO the Kinemon. The Kikinojo would also make sense just because they're going for late game. They don't really care if I game life. I can't rest this blocker. Interesting, the Mihawk. I imagine the Kinemon is just a better Mihawk. I take this. Nice, I get something that can rest next turn. Let me see. Maybe I drop a Momonosuke just to develop a body. I assume they're going to swing into life. So start with this. Like that. Put that in the top of life. Go 6. And then with this in life, if they swing at me, I just take it and I get another body back. If they don't, I mean, eventually they probably will swing at me, right? Hopefully this one Dan is up for the 3K event, so they'll have to use 2 cards. They take it. Wow. I think I just end game next turn. Drop the Dead Man's Game to rest whatever Dan they leave up and go for game. Alright, they are searching. Grab a 1K, maybe to go for my board. Their best bet is to drop. Okay, interesting. Go for my face. I dare you. I'm gonna take this every time. I'm gonna defend this. Maybe they swing a 5, I'll 2K, and then a 6. I'll block with Momonosuke. I'll just 2K this. I'll take this. That screws them over because now I can rest both their done. Take this one too. Maybe they concede here. Send a little GG pre-fire. Attach 2. Swing. That's the deck. Feels really good. I'm very happy with how it plays into Emu. Into Ace, it's pretty similar to the UP matchup, where if you can get them down really low really early, you just win. But I think Ace is a lot more defensive than UP, if that makes sense. Because UP's main goal in the early game is to just ramp up. Ace plays a little bit more safely. Maybe you get it down to 1 life, but after that, it's going to be a little bit harder just because they'll play the Marcos and the other blockers that they run and just play defensively after that. But I'll go do the deck reflection. Alright, here's that deck list one more time. I will say it feels pretty good. I think the 3 Dead Man's Game feels a lot better than 2 Dead Man's Game and 3 Hody, just because the Dead Man's Game might be important for games that might go a little longer if you need to use it for counter. And Hody does emphasize more on the aggressive playstyle, but I think the other cards in the deck make up for that reduced aggression, if that makes sense. I think if you wanted to make it a purely aggressive deck list, it might be a good idea to do that as well. I might make a video on that in the future, so if you're interested in that, please consider hitting the subscribe button. But yeah, definitely feels good. I'm going to keep testing out this deck list. The Denjiro is like the special sauce in it. I think a lot of people might not like the Denjiro just because it's another brick. Though the deck doesn't run a ton of bricks. It's like 2, 4, 7, 11, 13 total, plus the events, so like 16. That's what your typical deck might run. Maybe a little more heavy on the brick side, but not completely out of the question of being a valid deck list counter-wise. With 12 2K counters and a bunch of 1Ks, feels good. I'm going to leave it as is. I'll try and cook up something in the future for an aggression one. Aggressive deck list. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate everyone's support. If you like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of this content, please consider subscribing. If you want to give me feedback or tell me what you think of the deck, tell me what you think of the video, feel free to leave a comment down below. I'll always respond to comments, especially at the size of the channel I am now. It makes it really easy, and it feels great to engage with other people. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.